How I came to Krishna consciousness. So, I was raised in a Christian family. So, my parents went to Christian. My father's actually was always a Sunday school teacher, and later he trained to be a lay preacher in the church. That means he was a teacher in school, but voluntarily he would preach in the churches. But both my mother and father are very open-minded Christians. So the acceptance of God was with me all the time. I always remember accepting God, and maybe that's why I was put into took birth in this family. And so I received that desire to be with the Lord and have a relationship with God was always there. But then I went to university. In university, I wanted to meet up with spiritually minded people, but there was nothing happening. Any sense, Christian sense or anything like that. There's no one there to connect with. So I also had desires. I wanted to experience the world, experience sense gratification. That's all I knew about. So my associates at university were all into sense gratification. None of them were interested in God. So I had no opportunity to speak about God, my desire to know God. So for 5 years of my life was deeply distracted in that way. But when I finished university, so I was 25 years old, 26, then that association was gone. So then I was back on my own. I was then established a freelance business. I was a graphic designer, specializing in illustration. I studied visual communications at university, video, graphics, illustration, so many things. So my particular training specialization was illustration. So I was self-employed. I would do the newspapers and magazines, and sometimes advertising agents, they would phone me and please do this artwork for this advertisement or for this article in the newspaper. So that was my job. So I worked freelance. So I'd only have to work 1 or 2 days a week. So the rest of the time I was essentially an artist. I always liked drawing, observing the landscape, places around me, and drawing. So I started a tapestry. And in this, my aim of drawing and observing the landscape and my life was to try and connect with God. And I was studying the Bible. Now I started studying the Bible very seriously. Reading the Bible, trying to see God in the landscape, which is all I knew at that time. And on my one birthday, I think probably must have been the 26th or 27th birthday, I asked my father, please give me a Quran. I want a Quran for my birthday so I can read the Quran, the Muslim book. So my father went to the mosque and they gave him a book for free, Quran book. My father gave a donation. So I was reading the Quran, the Bible and the Quran. But there was no understanding. Both the books, they were telling me to love God, but they didn't show me how to love God, how to go about it. And in Christianity, I learned there was over 400 sects. Muslims, I understood. I knew very little about Muslims, but there were so many also different Muslim groups. And there was also a mosque opened in our city of Edinburgh, a very large mosque. And we were invited to the opening day. So I went to the opening day and I heard the Qatar evening program, but still it didn't make any more sense than going to any of the Christian programs. It was very limited knowledge. Nothing that was going to my heart to show me how to love God. So every day, every evening before I took rest, I would lie in my bed. I can remember very clearly I would lie in my bed and I would say, Lord, please show me the way to live my life. Please show me the way. So after 2 years, I must have been approaching 28. Then I received a chitti, a small piece of paper through the door. It was quite a thing my parents were visiting at the time. And I picked it up and he said, Hare Krishna evening, reincarnation, Vedic wisdom, Bhagavad Gita. So I said, I'll go to this. My parents were visiting. They left. And then the next week I went to this program. It was a Namahata, Wednesday evening program. So I thought it was something spiritual, maybe something religious, but I didn't know anything about Hare Krishna. So I went to the program and I was automatically attracted by the devotees, the atmosphere. I didn't know anything about the philosophy at all. But after the program, they were speaking what they were doing, and I realized these were the people I was seeing on the streets every day. And they told me, I never stopped for them because I didn't stop for people on the street. In Edinburgh, there's so many people on the street. So I just kept my mind fixed. I would go into the town, do my service and come out because I didn't like the town. So then I understood they were distributing their books. So then automatically clicked with me. This is what Jesus was preaching. They were just to surrender your life to God and distribute the knowledge of God. So when I saw the sincerity, that I touched with them. I like these devotees. So because of their sincerity, because of my attraction to these people, they were the first people I was attracted to spiritually. I saw the sincerity. The first sincere people, genuine sincere people with genuine surrender. I'd met other people sincere, but not with the same surrender. So every Wednesday I would go to the program in the evening because I liked the devotees. I didn't know anything of philosophy. The little that I was learning about Krishna, I could not accept Krishna as God. He was too much of a fairy tale personality. But I liked the devotees. So I kept going to the program. After 2 months, this was the beginning, the Namhat had just started. I've been going from the beginning. So after 2 months, the devotees said, okay, from now on we will not bring prasadam from the temple. We want you to bring fruit. All of you bring fruit. I think it was about 5 or 6 of us in the congregation. You all bring fruit. And we'll make the fruit into a fruit salad. And we'll offer it to the Lord. And we'll take that as our prasadam. And we want you to start chanting at home. So at that time, what did my mind say? My mind said, okay, I'm not coming anymore. I don't want to have anything to do with organized or religious institutions. Because my experience was, God, you don't approach God through religious institutions. Somebody else's ideas of who is God and what is God. You fit into a format. You become like a robot. You become brainwashed and think in a certain direction. That was my response. But then, I think it was maybe in the same day or the same next day I started thinking, well, let's give it a chance. Because the devotees are sincere. And this, chanting the holy names, what is the harm in chanting God's names? In the Bible, we are told to chant the God's names. So I sincerely started chanting 1 round a day. Let's put it to the test. I didn't know the philosophy. So I started chanting 1 round a day. And within 3 or 4 months, I was chanting 16 rounds a day. In 2 years, I was chanting 42 rounds a day. Because I was freelance, I had so much time during the week, so I started... When I first went from 1 round to 4 rounds, what did I do? Instead of getting up at 7 o'clock, I got up at 6:30. And when I started chanting 16 rounds a day, instead of getting up at 6:30, normal time I get up at 7 o'clock, I would get up at 5 o'clock or 5:30 and start chanting my rounds. So I finished my rounds actually before my day started. I used my intelligence, very clever that way. But I could see the holy name was working. Slowly, my attachment to artistic, to drawing the landscape, to doing artwork, my attraction to hearing a sport, hearing the radio, it was going away. And what I was also doing a second degree. I was doing a degree in the Open University. I was learning a history degree and literature degree. So I was in that course. I did 2 years of the second degree. And I was learning how to write, how to read, to take evidence from books and literature, and to present nice dissertations. That was actually I would use in the future in Krishna consciousness. And even that, I lost interest. I was so enthusiastic for this course that I lost all interest. And what finished me off was I read Srila Prabhupada's Leelamrit. When I read that book, I had to join the temple. Actually, as soon as I started chanting, I knew in due course I would join the temple. So that's what happened. I found book distribution very difficult. The whole temple was distributing books. When after 2 years, I slowly surrendered to book distribution. And one Christmas marathon, I decided I'm going to do at least 10 days. And I did that. And then after that, I thought, now I have to join that. I don't fit into the material world. I don't have any relationships with my friends. There's no compatibility there. So very quickly, on my 30th birthday, I joined the temple. My mind was thinking, I will give it a shot for 2 years, and if it doesn't work out, what have I lost? So I gave up my job, I gave up my flat, I wasn't married, I gave up my friendships, I gave up my family. I didn't have any phone, they didn't have any phone contact. I just surrendered. It's like sannyas, actually. Now I look back. I had to give up everything and join the temple. Whatever my Lord wants, I will do. And I had faith that if this is a bona fide path, after 2 years I will have realization. The Lord will reciprocate. The process will work. And after 2 years I saw the process did work. And actually now my concept of spirit of all the faiths is all the faiths, Christian, Muslim, Buddhism, it all fits into what Prabhupada has given us. The perspective of the whole show is there. So now I've been in the movement 20 years. So to me, Prabhupada is given everything in ISKCON. Everything is there. From the ABCs, the unity body, the spirit soul. And now I've been given service. After 7 years of book distribution, I was given service to serve at Sri Radha Bihari Temple in Kusum Sarovar. That is a Brajavasi temple. It's just on the it's just on the outer parameters of Radhakund. It's in Radhakund district, the topmost place in the spiritual world. And after 7 years, I was sent there to serve. How is it possible? It was the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and our spiritual masters and the Vaishnavas. That now I'm in the most holiest place, is a Brajavasi temple. And we're accepted by all the different Brajavasis and the local ashrams. They accept that we're Vaishnava, that we're Brahmin, we're performing this service. So this is the amazing story. That how someone who was simply desired to pray to the Lord, please show me the way, Krishna reciprocated. I didn't even know Krishna's name. When I heard about Krishna's pastimes, I didn't accept he was God. But I accepted Lord Chaitanya was God. Lord Chaitanya to me, yes, I could see he was God. He was distributing, he was a concept, he was distributing the knowledge of God. He was wanting ever to have love of God by chanting the holy names. So it was actually through the mercy of the Vaishnavas and Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya told me Krishna was God. So on that reason only I accepted Krishna. And now, to me, it's undoubtable that Krishna is the Supreme Person. Hare Krishna.